Good morning, Coolest Coast. It's time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This lovely lady is Kristin Odell. I'm Tina Prigge. So happy to see you this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
So good. But I understand you've got a little mechanical issue, a first world problem, but it really can set your life back when that happens, right? You want to tell us what's going on here?
Yeah. So yesterday, I happened to say out loud to my husband, like, I rocked the laundry out yesterday. I'd love to keep it going because I'm going to be gone this weekend. So I'm like, I want, things settled. And then our dryer stopped heating last night.
Any idea
It's
what that
probably
means?
just the like heating element in it. They're like 5 or 6 years old. Things just don't work like they used to.
Yeah, they used to be made to last a lifetime, and now okay, so you did laundry, then discovered that it was out,
Well,
and
we were
so
like 2 loads in. I had a load in the dryer drying and then a load in the washer, and then I'm like, "Doug, everything is cold in the dryer."
did just that air, like, even though it was cold, did that help it?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit, and then I actually just used that with the load that came right out of the washer to kinda try to get some of that moisture out of it a little bit before we hung things up, but yeah, we're back to old school, friends.
And it's challenging because here we are, like, deep in winter, right? So, like, if you look at what you've got hung up, these are, like, thick pieces of clothing, right? Like sweatshirts with hoods and everything.
Yeah, hoodies, sweatshirts. We haven't gotten to jeans yet, but yeah, like socks. Isn't it so silly?
Yeah. You know what? I'm impressed that you have a drying rack. I used to once upon a time, and I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think between myself and the girls, a lot of our sweaters don't get dried in the dryer.
Mm.
So, we have it for that. And then, undergarments these days, a lot of them are air dry, and there's 4 females in this house. So, um, a lot of times we hang things on hangers, but last night I was like, "Ooh, let's get the drying rack out."
Yeah, and it kinda changes then the use of your space, having to find space for all this stuff to hang and dry, right? Ha
Yes.
did you find that by hanging it up, did it eventually dry? Or
Yeah,
did
I
it
mean, everything I hung up last night was pretty much dry this morning. The second load, a couple of those hoodies, the hoods are still a little bit damp, but I think by tonight they'll be dry. The first load definitely was dry already. But like I told the kids, hey, y'all, if you need something, you need to allow like a 24-hour window for us to do this. So,
Oh, I bet
um,
they were thrilled.
just like these, they just take for granted. We all take for granted. I shouldn't just say that. We all take for granted the fact that we have a washer and dryer in our home, and like, within an hour or an hour and a half, sometimes we could have something go from dirty to clean and ready to go.
Yeah.
Maybe even quicker if we do like a very quick wash. And so, we're kind of spoiled that way. It's really a blessing that we have that.
Right, and it really, I don't know, makes you pivot hard when you have to think of a way to get around it if it's not working. Like, we
Yeah.
did a load of laundry on the weekend, and I opened it up. It's a front load washer, right? So I reached in, I was gonna put it in the dryer, and my hand just went into a deep puddle of water. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, what the heck?" No, I did get a confession from Jason that he had been doing something above the machines, and he thought he bumped it. So we just ran a rinse and spin cycle, and that solved the problem, but it was
Yeah.
like, "Ah," your hand isn't supposed to come out, like, wet after
Right,
you
or foamy yet, there's, like, soap. Yeah, I mean, we have that sometimes, especially with, like, bath towels where it's not balanced, so it'll stop, and it wants you to kinda move things around and restart it. So, yeah, we've definitely been in that camp before, but, if anybody wants to visit today, there is laundry hanging all over our house on, like, all the door frames and definitely in the laundry room, and, we kinda cleared closets out last night to just make space for hanging stuff, so
It's real life, right? You're just dealing with what it
yeah.
throws at you.
I know, Doug said to me last night, like, "Do you want me just to run to the laundromat?" And it was, like, probably 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and I'm like, "Absolutely not, like, we'll be fine, I want you to stay here." Like, that sounds awful to have to go out now at 8 o'clock at night and try to, do an hour or 2 of laundry somewhere, so
I guess one of the things that's beneficial is being winter, we have the forced air on in the house, right?
oh,
And
yeah.
so it's drier, and that I think does help it dry quicker than if it was like humid midsummer.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And again, like we still have our washer, so if we need to get things ready, it's really not that big of a deal. And we'll see. We've got a message out to our service team already to see if they have availability to get it fixed. And if it doesn't, then eventually we're a family of five. We probably will have to make a trip to the laundromat.
It's interesting because if it's something lightweight, like this shirt I'm wearing is pretty lightweight today, right? So
Right.
if this came out kind of moist still, right? Like I could wear it, my body heat would dry it off. But like when you're talking about this hoodie, right? If that's what you just can't body heat that dry.
Right. Or like jeans. So we haven't washed jeans yet because we had them done over the weekend. But like, we usually have a full load of jeans between, what Doug and I wear during the week and the kids. So, again, if we get to that point, we might have to, either really plan to give that a lot of time to air dry or we're going to make a trip somewhere.
So did your machine give you any kind of an error message or just you opened it and it wasn't dry?
No, it was running. Doug said to me, like, hey, we use like wool balls. So usually within 30 or 45 minutes, loads are done drying. And he was like, yeah, everything felt a little damp in there yet. So I restarted it. So it ran for like 15 or 20 minutes. And I went and checked it. I'm like, it's cold.
Oh.
And then I thought, well, maybe he had just bumped the temperature down or something by accident. So then I
Our
put it,
our husband's bumping things.
so instead of it being on like a timed dry where we pick however many minutes, I went back to like a regular dry and made sure the temperature was bumped up all the way and the dryness was bumped up all the way. And then it still didn't get warm. So I was like, sorry.
And you're preparing, you said, to go to JTF. Is that what this picture is?
Yes. You guys, this is the 2026 Treehouse Theater JTF competitive team.
Okay, tell us more.
So we've talked about this on the show. This is my third time going. This is Grace's third time going. But this team is leaving tomorrow morning and we're heading down to Atlanta, Georgia to compete in the Junior Theater Festival. So they get split into what they call pods and they compete with teams in those and get feedback from people who have directed shows and performed on Broadway and just like incredible artists come to, they call it adjudication, but it's judging. And then they get to do workshop, they choreography workshops and dance and acting and all these different things. And then in the evenings they have performances and shows. So we get to see that too. But
So there's a performing component and an educational component. And Emily says, good luck. Yes.
thank you, Emily. I need all the luck I can get. It's like living in a musical for 5 days. So y'all pray for me. I might get on the show and be mute next week.
So they've got material already prepared that they're going to perform there?
Yes. So they are performing Newsies this year or Newsies Junior. So basically what they do is they take, oh, Emily, I didn't know that. That's so awesome. They take a full length junior or youth show and they have to cut it to 15 minutes.
Oh.
And so you basically have to tell the story and hit key pieces of the show in order to tell that story. But it has to be 15 minutes or less. So you can't, ideally you can't go over in time.
Laura Lee says, break a leg.
Thank you. So I'm just a support person and a cheerleader and a chaperone to make sure our middle school and high school students are behaving themselves.
And so are the performances almost all based on musicals? Is that part of the
Yeah, it is all musicals. Yep. It has to be, I think it has to be a youth or junior version, but teams come from all over the world. And most of them, I think there's a minimum number. I don't know if it's like 15 or 18 kids. I think you can have up to 40. And there are these teams and I'll get some pictures, but it is wild. It is like the most energy you probably would experience in the whole year. The most accepting environment. Like there's something about youth arts kids that just want to love on each other. If that makes sense.
Oh,
I mean, you've been here, so you get it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a really fun couple of days. And then the kind of grand finale, the last night, Sunday before we come home, they introduce a new youth or junior show that's coming out this year. And so theaters or high schools or whoever's there competing, they can purchase the licensing to do that show in the next season. So
Oh,
last year was,
cool.
what was it last year? It was a Disney show last year. I don't remember what it was. It was kind of a compilation show. So we'll see what comes out this year. But yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
concert. People from Broadway are there singing. So if I had to guess, we might see something from like Wicked is so popular this year.
Oh, so there's professionals that come and
Yes.
oh,
Yeah, there's like
oh,
professional Broadway performers and musicians and composers. There's usually somebody from Disney there that has led shows or artistry or design, and they talk about what that process is behind the scenes. So it's really a cool experience because you get a much broader picture of kind of what the arts look like, not just
yeah.
youth theater. So
Wow, that's so cool. And I wonder, Kristin, if you're gonna have like an earbug after that, right? Like an earworm. Like I wonder what song's gonna be stuck in your head because you've heard it so many times.
I mean, it is a very stimulating environment. And I mean, the kids really do sing from the time they start in the morning until, curfew hits at 10 o'clock in the hotel and they have security guards. And the kids will be singing on the balconies and doing cheers and dancing. And like everywhere you go, that's happening all
I
day
love
long.
theater kids so much.
I do too. But like I said, I might be mute when I get back next week,
Flying down or bus down?
flying down.
Okay, so they can't really sing on the flight, right?
I mean, maybe not, but they could sing in the airport. I mean, they could sing on a plane. Other people just might not like it.
All
So,
right. Hey, can I tell you a kind of crazy serendipitous story that happened? So
yes.
my parents were going down to visit my brother. And my brother just installed a little free library, so he's got a bunch of books. And so since they were going down, I said, "Hey, Mom, take a picture of what's in his little free library, and I'll tell you if you should grab anything for me, right?" So I circled this one book. It sounded kind of interesting, Adrift, right? And she brought it back, and it's the story, this true story of a guy that was adrift at sea for 76 days in a little raft, right? So I'm like, okay, this is going to be so interesting. But when I opened it up, when I opened the cover, this note was in there. My brother's name is Tyler. I had written this note years ago. Tyler, can I borrow this book? And obviously, he never saw it because it was in his little free library. But what are the chances that that's the book I would have picked?
My gosh. Did you remember asking him for it before?
So once I saw that note, I remember he's a book lover just like me, and he had all these books. There was some opportunity where a bookshop or something was closing, and he got to go and just like get all these boxes of books. So together we had like gone through and some got redonated, some are like, ooh, these are keepers. Some I thought he might really be interested in. So I put notes in if I wanted it when he was done. And this
I
was one of them.
That's so great. Have you started it yet?
No, but I'm really interested too.
You're gonna have to tell us about it, as you read it and if it's as good as what you were hoping it to be.
Right. I mean, that kind of story of survival, there's so much to take away from that, right? Like, what do you
Yeah.
do in the deepest depths of there's no one there to help you, your resources are limited, right?
Mhm. Nora actually had to do this for a project, and it's based on a book with the word mountain in it, but I can't tell you what it is. And, she brought a worksheet home last night, and it was like, "I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I don't have any weapons, I don't have clothing, I don't have shelter. I need to protect my food from wild animals." There was like a whole list of things. And we made a photocopy of it. And she and Doug and I did a little activity where we had to rank which ones would we do first.
Oh,
Second, like what would be our priority? So like I know that without drinking some sort of water, you're much less likely to be able to survive. You can survive without food, but you can't really survive without water. So like I put that number one. Doug put food as his number one, and we each like kind of went through and picked what would we do in each order. And it was kind of fun.
yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like one of the Sims games or something, right? Where Oregon Trail or something where you have to think about what to prioritize and what to do.
Right. Right. So, I mean, thankfully, there's not been too many moments in my life where I've had to think survival mode like that. But um, yeah, it's good.
So
So
what
the
was it like
girls,
for the girls? Like, did they think about food and water first or?
they definitely did. I think Nora built shelter pretty early on. Um, And I'm trying to think what else she did. Weapons were definitely one, but like at the bottom, then after you did that, there was like, okay, you can take one of these things with you. And it was like $40, a penknife, a flint and steel, an axe. And then there's something else.
Ooh. You can only
Oh,
take one of those things?
a ball of cord, like rope or cord.
Oh.
And um, so we went through and ranked those. And then we kind of shared which ones we wanted. And it was funny because bring $40 was her number 4, not her number 5.
Oh.
And I thought that was interesting, like, well, you're out in the woods surviving. Where are you going to spend 40? Maybe she was like thinking about like when I get back
Yeah.
or maybe she was thinking about like, well, before I go, I could, buy food. But in this case, it was like a survival situation, so.
Right, currency would be the least valuable thing. I'm trying to decide if the penknife or the flint and steel would be my number 1.
Yeah, I picked axe first.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Because, that can be a weapon that can help you seek shelter, that, just a lot of things. But yeah, it's a hard thing to like, if I was
Yeah.
really heading off into the wilderness, what would I want with me?
It's a good exercise to go through that, and I just hope we never have to experience that.
Absolutely. The girls just watched a movie, and I'll see if I can drop it in. I don't remember what it's called, but it's about a high school girl from Australia that sails her sailboat all the way around the world, and it takes her like 210 days. And they were finishing it the other night, so I kind of watched the ending with them. And it's based on a true story. Like they showed a real video of the girl coming back into port when she returned, but she goes through horrible storms. She goes through a period of time where there's no wind, so her sailboat won't move. She actually is floating backwards with the current. And, she does have the ability to keep in contact with her family, and they had GPS tracking on her, but she was young. I think she was like 16 or 17 years old, and she sailed around the world.
Wow, and she was
Yeah.
solo?
Solo. Yes.
So did she, like, sail into ports along the way to replenish food and things like that?
I don't believe so. I think she um, had supplies on ship with her, and had planned and strategied for a lot of things. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So if you're looking for like a kind of survival story, that would be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, if you know the name, put it in the comments. That would be
I
great
will.
to know.
And it's pretty family friendly again, because it's a high school student. So there's a few like scary parts where she gets into storms and stuff like that, but not anything that is too bad.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so totally shifting subjects. What's going on with your dog here?
Oh, this was I think Saturday night, maybe Friday night. We're just finally hanging out. And Grace hopped off the couch to go get something and kind of toss the blanket. And so it landed on Reggie like this. And he
Oh,
just stayed there. He just literally sat there until she came back and like picked the blanket up again. Isn't that so silly?
that's amazing. So I thought maybe he had like snuggled his way, like burrowed into that position. But yeah,
No,
that's
he
funny
was
that he didn't
laying
care.
I know. He's laying on the floor with his head on my very nice pillow from the flower gallery, of course, probably drooling on it. But like, what a goofball.
Wow.
Doesn't it just make you laugh?
Is it because Grace did it? Like he's tight with Grace, and so she did it. She meant to do it, and I'm just going to be cool with it. Or
It's
he's just
just,
cool that way.
I think he's just silly that way. Yeah, I mean, she does love on him a lot, but at the end of the day, he follows me. He's my dog. But yeah, every time I look at this picture, it makes me laugh. I just think it's so funny and so ridiculous.
Yeah, I also feel like it kind of sums up winter sometimes, right? Like how many of us feel like this on a daily basis?
How many of us felt like this after the Packer game Saturday night?
Oh my God. I can't
Yeah,
believe it was true.
I know. We shouldn't even talk about it. It's so awful.
I know. A woman was telling me that she came down with a bad cold, so she watched the first half, and at halftime she took cold medicine, zonked her out. Or from the wrong game. Oh, oh,
Hi, welcome back.
Well, hello, that was bizarre.
We're playing Find Our Window today.
Who's who? Who's where? So, yeah.
Yeah, a couple actually my kind of in-laws were in um so not Doug's parents, my first husband's parents. They were in town and visited on Sunday and brought lunch, and we just were going to visit for the afternoon. And they went to bed at halftime. And so we were talking about the game. We're like, man, that just sucked. And she's like, what do you mean they won? And we're like, did you watch the whole game? And she's like, no, we went to bed at halftime. And we're like, I'm sorry to report that that's not what happened.
I can't believe it.
I know, right?
So speaking of the Packers, on an upshot, there's a Wisconsin team that made a movie called No Packers, No Life. I think I was telling you about it, right?
Yes.
About the Japanese cheering squad. Anyway, I contacted them to say, we really enjoyed the movie. We've got a Japanese connection here in the city of Manitowoc. He's going to be a guest on our radio show. So we get to talk to him about the movie. I know that's going to happen on February 5th. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Does he live in the US?
Yeah, I think based on the movie, it sounded like the Milwaukee area.
Okay. That's incredible. What a cool guest for you to have on.
I know.
Okay, so if the viewers probably I have not gotten to watch the movie yet. What's the name of the movie?
It's called No Packers, No Life, and you can watch it for free on Tubi.
Okay.
TUBI. It's like an app that
Mhm.
I don't
So
know
it's
has great stuff.
basically about essentially a Japanese following for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, there are some like diehard Packers fans in Tokyo that all get together, and this guy from Milwaukee was doing business in Tokyo, and there was a Japanese guy wearing a Packers jersey. And so the guy walked up to him thinking like, why is there a Packers jersey in Tokyo? He's like, go Pack go. And the Japanese guy's like, oh, go Pack go. And then the Wisconsin guy's like, go Pack go. And the Japanese guy's like, go Pack go. Right. And the Milwaukee guy's like, tell me what is happening. Why did you even know to say that? Like, you sound like this Packer fan. He's like, we are huge Packers fans. And apparently they get together weekly. It's like this club. They watch all these old games together, talk about them, celebrate. So the guys from Wisconsin, when he came back to Wisconsin, he talked to some of his friends and he said, what if we made it possible for them to come to Wisconsin and go to Lambeau Field and even a game? And
Mhm.
it's so cool.
Yeah, and I think I sent you the YouTube link. There's like a trailer for it. I'll drop that in the comments also in case somebody wants. I mean, just as a Packer fan, the trailer alone has all the feels.
Yeah, it's so heartwarming. And one of my favorite moments, one of the Japanese guys is a huge Mason Crosby fan who was, like a renowned kicker at the time, right? He's
Right.
got the Crosby jersey on. He like talks about him all the time. So they're at Lambeau Field. They're like looking at the grass, looking at the scoreboard. Like they can't believe that that's where they are, right? Like they've only ever seen it on TV in Tokyo, never thought they'd be there. So they're just already geeking out. And then all of a sudden, running through the tunnel comes Mason Crosby to greet the group. And the guy with the jersey is just like, oh my, it just like
So
makes his day. Mason Crosby takes a Sharpie, autographs his jersey. So for then the rest of the movie, the guy's like, it was Mason Crosby.
I love that. So if the word of the day is if you need an injection of positive Packer spirit after Saturday night, go watch the trailer, look the movie up. It is like the sweetest, best thing ever.
Yeah, it's so true. And okay, kind of football adjacent, an aide to my therapist at PT made a tracker. She handmade a football field. So you can see this is the second one. I've already walked with a cane the length of one football field. And so now she's started tracking, each new personal best with these little handmade flags on a football field, the yardage. Isn't that the sweetest thing?
I love it. It reminds me a little of like when you would go to the public library for story time and they would have the little felt storytelling things where they would like put the little animals and the little tree up. Like that's what it reminded me of right away. But just so we're on the same page, that yardage, that's walking like one whole football field down and then coming back.
Right, right. So if you look at the picture, there's actually a second football field underneath it. So that's the one I walked the entire thing and then started the next football field.
Oh my god.
So On January 2nd, I walked 115 yards total. And then on January 8th, I walked 117 yards total. So one whole football field plus.
Tell me what these little flags do for your motivation.
I mean, it's good to try. Yeah, it's good to track it because it's really slow progress, it feels like,
Mhm.
right? And so it's easy to be discouraged. But then when I think about that and I look back at like videos I've recorded, there's a video where I took 3 steps, and you can tell they were the 3 hardest steps of my life, right? Like 1, 2, 3, like I have to sit down, I can't go any further. Like this is, and that was a huge accomplishment, being able
Right.
to take those 3 steps, right? So now to be able to walk an entire football field plus, while that's not a lot in the scheme of things, in my journey, it's huge. And so, yeah, it's keeping
Yeah,
me motivated and kind of helping me move the goalpost, get closer to the goalpost.
absolutely. And I mean, we frequently talk about this, but
Thanks,
little bits of
Lauralee.
progress, consistent little bits of progress add up to a lot of progress,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And like at first, so you can see between those 2 dates, it's only 2 yards more that I was able to walk. And I was kind of disappointed at first, like, oh, but then I'm like, wait, 2 yards? Like when they get that on the football field, right? When they give the ball to Josh Jacobs and he gets two, they're like, yeah, yardage was gained. So
Yeah, I mean, that is 6 feet, 6 feet more. That's a lot. We should put it in centimeters, so it sounds like a lot more.
Emily, okay, so Emily said that she and Mike went to see the movie Song Sung Blue. Emily, what did you think? We went to see it too, and I cried for so much of the movie. It was so touching. This is a movie, just to bring everybody up to speed. It's about a couple that performed in Milwaukee. They were Neil Diamond, they called themselves Neil Diamond interpreters. So they performed like all these Neil Diamond songs. They were, beloved in the Milwaukee area. And one day when she was out gardening, a car veered off the road, slammed into her, and she became an amputee. So that's part of
Mm,
the story.
wow. So, I have not had a chance to see this movie yet, but I saw Mike at the gym. This was probably I don't know when they saw it, but Mike literally walked up to Doug and I and were like he said, "You need to go," which it's kind of a, like, romance chick flicky kinda movie, and so, like, yeah, Mike was like, "You guys gotta go see this movie." My mom and my sister went over Christmas break and said the same thing, that they loved it, it was so good. So, this is on our must-do list, this month, is to try to get this in before it goes away from the theaters.
Yeah, it was lovely, and I can't explain why. I think, Hugh Jackman did a great job portraying his role. Kate Hudson did a great job. It's very just it's heartwarming, it's real, it's Wisconsin,
Right,
um, but I'm not sure why it resonates so much, right? Like, I thought for me, maybe it would just be because of the amputee component, but
right.
it's so much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this just came up, and Doug and I are teaching marriage class right now. So last week was the second Sunday that we met. And in the video, this woman is talking about where her husband was born. And I think he was born in like Hawaii, but has a different cultural diverse background. And she, I believe, is Korean and something else. But and she said, and I was born in Wisconsin, but she was raised somewhere else. And I think there's just this like pride and connection that we immediately be like, oh, you're my people,
Yeah, yeah, and I think
right?
in greater media, we're not often like, Wisconsin's not often the setting, it's not often represented.
Right. Right. And I can imagine thinking through your eyes. Okay, we've got Wisconsin. Now we've got this amputee situation. We have this like loving, adoring husband, right? Like there's a lot that probably overlapped for you.
Yeah, they're performers, right? They're in the
Right.
arts. But then, we told my parents about it, and we often don't share similar movie appreciation with my parents. So I said, "Hey, I'm
I
gonna tell you how
wonder
much we
why.
love this movie. I'm not telling you to go see it because you never like what we like," but they
Yeah.
loved it too.
Did they?
So I thought, "Oh, this has appeal."
Okay. So if you're getting the winter blues and you're like, man, we need to go do something, there's another thing to put on your list.
And talking about earworms, Sweet Caroline will be in your head.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I'll have to take note of which songs stick with me over the weekend, and I'll bring a, like, top 2 or top 3 list back.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, that would be great.
That is so
Hey,
fabulous.
you know what? Talking about amputees, Teak was down at Discovery World. That's the museum in Milwaukee, and he sent this picture to me that they've got like some biotechnical display that's new. So this is showing a hand kind of similar to my mechanical hand.
Yeah, so I looked up close at that, and it almost reminded me of like a trowel you would use in a garden. Like the design is kind of like hollowed out. And I don't know, did the fingers move on it? I was curious about that. I know it says it was made on a 3D printer and it had some servos things in it. I'm wondering if, well, yeah, it says provides lightweight power and control. I was wondering if he was able to move it or play with it.
Well, it's in this plexiglass box, so you can't touch it.
Okay. But there were no
Um,
controls on the outside of it?
oh, you know what? I didn't ask him. You're right, because if it's servos, they absolutely could do that.
Yeah, and Discovery World has a lot of interactive displays, like that part of that is to kind of play and experiment. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to ask them, get the scoop.
Okay. Okay. And I just have to share one more photo. Let's see. Here it is. So again, this is Teak. Our friend Cow New handmade, homemade egg rolls. And
Mm,
look at it is just a delivery of happiness. I just had to say how delicious and grateful we were for these egg rolls.
okay, so tell us, Cow New, did I get it right? I was trying
Yeah.
really hard. What ethnicity is Cow New?
Hmong. So these
Okay,
are like traditional Hmong egg rolls, and they are
wonderful.
so delicious.
And was there vegetables or meat? What was on the inside? Rice noodles?
There were definitely the glass rice noodles,
Okay.
vegetables. I can't say if there was a meat component or not. They were so delicious. I almost think so, but there weren't like big chunks of something
Yeah.
identifiable.
Yeah, recognizable.
And then the dipping sauce was delicious, and there was a little bit of heat to it.
I was gonna say, it looks like a sweet chili sauce.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
So did you like reheat these under the broiler to get them a little bit crunchy, or did you just
We just
gobble 'em up?
gobbled them.
It So my mouth is watering thinking about it. Like, I'm kind of a sucker for a good egg roll.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
an amazing gift, right? When somebody would, homemade, then share them with you. Just so
yes.
grateful.
Yeah, Doug has some incredible Hmong employees that work at Jagman, and every now and then they will make egg rolls, and I'm always like, "Bring me some home. You have to bring me some home next time."
There are none left probably because everyone
Probably
gobbles
not.
them up because they're so
Probably
good.
right. Yes.
Kristen, I can't believe it. Our time is done.
No,
I
I know.
know. I
Hey,
know.
really quick, you guys. Tina and I were going through our schedule for February, and she's got some early morning PT that we're working around. And I've just been very blessed with some new clients that are, I need to kind of schedule when they need me. And so our schedule is going to be a little bit different going into February. So make sure you're checking dates and times when those invites go out because it's going to be we're going to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It'll be exciting. Like, where in the world are Kristen and Tina?
Sometimes it'll be on Tuesday, sometimes it'll be on Friday, sometimes it'll be early, sometimes it'll be lunchtime. So just make sure you're watching.
We're gonna be popping up like whack-a-mole. Like, here we
That's right.
are. Nope, here we are. Here we
Yep.
are.
Yeah. So
All right, this has been, again, another wonderful conversation. Viewers, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing your comments. It really fills us up to communicate with you like this.
we love it.
All right,
Have a
everyone,
beautiful day.
stay safe. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Coffee with Kristen and Tina. Oh, Kristen Odell. I'm
On the
Tina
other
Prigge.
side.
We'll see you next time.